Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And everything that we've covered in this New Mexico tyranny gun grab attempt has been aimed at that purpose. Hence why Second Legacy, we've talked about it with me and Tim. Katie's been brought in for research, and this channel with the breaking statuses. This is all going towards freedom, and we have a new TRO against the New Mexico gun ban that the governor just tried to do an executive order on. What I've got for you tonight is the specifics around what the judge said from the actual courtroom. The actual decision is not printed yet. You are not going to see this anywhere else, and let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and we're going to try something new with audio, and let me know what you guys think. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Distributing freedom twice daily, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. And this content, of course, is brought to you by SDI. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to upgrade and modify your own guns. And if you're looking to turn a hobby that you love into a career that you can love, Sonoran Desert Institute can help. Their online programs cover everything from woodworking and ballistics to gunsmithing to shooting, sports management, and more. Plus, all the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door. There's never been a better time to turn that hobby into a career, so what are you waiting for? There's a link right down there in the description, and check them out, and thank you so much to SDI for making this content possible. All right, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned, we haven't ever really done an audio version of this, so I've got 3 clips from the actual judge issuing the TRO against the state of New Mexico, the governor of New Mexico. This was a victory around the entire playing field. There was nothing left behind. This judge went to town, but the way that he did it and the things that we're about to talk about are the important piece. So let's get the first audio. Again, there are 3, and this is stuff you're not going to see anywhere else because the decision has not been written yet. Check this out from the actual court.
Whether the plaintiffs have shown that the 4 factors for establishing a TRO have been met in this case. And after reviewing the motions before the court, the arguments made by the parties at this hearing, the public health order signed by the Secretary of New Mexico Department of Health, the Executive Order 2023-130, and the applicable law regarding restrictions on the public carrying of firearms, the court will grant the plaintiff's motion for a temporary restraining order and will temporarily enjoin the defendants from applying and enforcing Section 1 of the New Mexico Department of Health's Public Health Emergency Order, issued on September 8, 2023, and Section 4 of the New Mexico Department of Health's Public Health Emergency Order, issued on September 8, 2023, to the extent that Section 4 imposes additional restrictions on the carrying of firearms that were not already in place prior to the issuance of the public health order.
Understand what he's about to say. Again, this is the judge speaking. This is actually in the courtroom today a couple of hours ago, right before I did my breaking live update. He's saying flat out, this public health order, this entire approach from the governor of New Mexico, it gets a TRO because the plaintiffs are likely to succeed on the merits. Understand how important that is. This is not just one judge saying this one thing and they can shop for another one. Now, every other governor in the United States just saw what just happened. You've got every single gun controller in the United States also saw what just happened. The door just shut for using the public health emergency to infringe upon your Second Amendment rights. That's what just happened. That's why we've been covering so hard that this tyrant wannabe just slammed the door on her own colleagues in the DNC and the gun controllers because now they can't go down the same road that they wanted to, probably more incrementally than she just did. Now, that was the first clip. Now, let's get into the second one because he starts going into very specific pieces of this. This is key, again, from the courtroom.
The court finds the plaintiffs have met their burden of showing a substantial likelihood of success on the merits given the Supreme Court's holdings in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated versus Bruin, District of Columbia versus Heller, and McDonald versus Chicago. In particular, the court finds that Bruin's holding confirming that individuals have a right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home supports the contention that plaintiffs have met this factor for justifying a temporary restraining order at this stage of the litigation. The court further finds that if an injunction is not issued, plaintiffs have shown they will suffer irreparable harm. Again, the Supreme Court, in cases like New York Times Company versus the United States and Elrod versus Burns, has made clear that the violation of a constitutional right, even for minimal periods of time, unquestionably constitutes irreparable injury. As to the
Three things here, and this is key if you take nothing else away. First of all, this judge just brought in the three horsemen of the gun control apocalypse. Bruen decision, Heller decision, and the McDonald decision. Those are the three horsemen that are going to destroy gun control across the board. This is what I'm here for. That's the first thing. Second thing, he goes into, and this is very important, you can't infringe upon a constitutional right even if it's for a limited amount of time. That's a key point. He is basically hitting on exactly what the governor was saying, like, no, it's perfectly fine. It's just temporary. She said it on CNN. It's a suspension. It's not a ban. Bans are forever. Suspensions are temporary or however long I want to extend it. Understand that he just used precedent in three different cases, the Heller decision, the McDonald decision, and the Bruen decision, to wipe the floor with this TRO. And then he came back in on the other one with an unrelated to gun charge around limitation on constitutional rights is not a acceptable venture, even if it's limited. Understand everything that they put out as their catch-all phrases got smoked in this. But now, let's go to the third one, because again, this audio is coming directly from the judge who issued it. This isn't even paper. It gives it real life because you hear his voice. Check this out, third one.
Balances of harms and whether an injunction would be adverse to the public interest. The court finds these factors also favor the issuance of a temporary restraining order, as courts have similarly found that it is always in the public interest to prevent the violation of a party's constitutional rights, and the balance of equities favors those whose constitutional rights are threatened. The court will issue a written order on the TRO, probably this afternoon or tomorrow, but it is effective as of 2:55 p.m. on September 13th, 2023, today's date, and will be in effect for the next 14 days.
So this TRO is going to be in effect for the next 14 days. Currently, it is the 13th. That puts us roughly at the 27th. So if the ban was on the 8th, well, we got about a week left. This is one of those things that's so important and so egregious to hit on, and this judge did a pretty good job. You cannot infringe upon the rights and the constitutional rights of all these Americans because you wanted to. One of the big things that they said, the lawyers for the state in this one, for Governor Grisham, they went in and they said, well, what about the rights of those who are being harmed? You cannot do what they're trying to do. This judge straight out came out with it and said, here are the decisions that say you can't do it. Here's an additional decision that says limitation of time doesn't make it okay. This was a very good verbal delivery. I cannot wait to get my hands on the text, and I hope that you guys enjoy this because, again, no one else is going to have this because it has not been released. This was recorded real time for you guys, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below of this style and delivery. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.